Hello everyone, it's episode number something something, and tonight we're going to be again reading our book, and that is 1001 Night. Okay, let's get started. When it was the 935th night, she said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that when Abu Kir beat Abu Sir and thrust him forth, he said to those present, 'He is a thief who steals the stuff of folk. He has robbed me of clothes.' How many a time I still said in myself, 'Allah forgive him. He is a poor man, and I care not to deal roughly with him.' So I used to give my customers the worth of their goods, and forbid him gently. But he wouldn't forbidden. And if he come again, I will send him in to the king, who will put him to the death, and rid the people of his mischief." And the bystanders fell to abusing the barber after his back was turned. Such was the behavior of Abu Kir. But as regards Abu Sir, he returned to the Khan, where he sat pondering that which the dyer had done by him, and he remained seated till the burning of the beating subsided, when he went out and walked about markets of the city. Presently he bethought him to go to the Hammam bath. So he said to one of the townsfolk, "O my brother, which is the way to the baths?" Baths, quoth the man, "and what manner of things may the bath be?" And quoth Abu Sir, "'Tis a place where people wash themselves and do away their dirt and defilements, and it is one of the best of the good things of the world." Replied the townsman, "Get thee to the sea." But the barber rejoined, "I want the Hammam baths." Cried the other, "We know not what manner of this is the Hammam, for we all resort to the sea. Even the king, when he would wash, betakes himself to the sea." When Abu Kir was assured that there was no bath in the city, and the folk knew not the baths nor the fashion thereof, he betook himself to the king, and kissing ground between his hands, he called down blessings on him, and said, "I am a stranger, and a bathman by trade, and I entered thy city, and thought to go to the Hammam, but found not one therein. How comes a city of this comely quality to lack a Hammam, seeing that the bath is one of the highest of the delights of the world?" Quoth the king, "What manner of thing is the Hammam?" So Abu Sir proceeded to set forth to him the quality of the bath, saying, "Thy capital will not be a perfect city till there be a Hammam therein." "Welcome to thee," said the king, and clad himself in a dress that hadn't its like, and gave him a horse and two blackamoor slaves, presently adding 4 handmaids and as many white Mamluks. He also appointed him a furnished house, and honored him yet more abundantly than he had honored the dyer. After this, he sent builders with him, saying to them, "Build him a Hammam in what place soever shall please him." So he took them and went with them through the midst of the city, till he saw a step that suited him. He pointed it out to the builders, and they set to work, whilst he directed them. And they wrought till they builded him a Hammam that hadn't its like. Then he bade them paint it, and they painted it really, so that it was of delight to the beholders. After which Abu Sir went up to the king and told him that they had made an end of building, and decorated the Hammam, adding, "There lacks naught save the furniture." And king gave him the 10,000 dinars, wherewith he furnished the bath, and raised the napkins of the robes. And all who passed by the door stared at it, and their mind confounded at its decorations. So the people crowded to the spectacle, whose like they had never in their lives seen, and solaced themselves by staring at it and saying, "What is this thing?" To which Abusir replied, "This is a hammam." And they marveled thereat. Then he heated water and set the bath working, and he made a jetting fountain in the great basin, which ravished the wit of all who saw it, of the people of the city. Furthermore, he sought of the king 10 Mameleks, not yet come to manhood, and he gave him 10 boys like moons. Whereupon Abu Basir proceeded to shampoo them, saying, "Do in this wise with the bathers." Then he burned perfumes and set out a crier to cry aloud in the city, saying, "O creatures of Allah, get ye to the bath which we call the Sultan's Hammam." So the leads came thither, and Abusir bade the slave boys wash their bodies. The folk went down into the tank, and coming forth seated themselves on the raised pavement, whilst the boys shampooed them, even as Abusir had taught them. And they continued to enter the hammam, and do their need therein grates, and go out, without paying, for the space of 3 days. On the 4th day the barber invited the king, who took horse with his grandees, and rode to the bath, where he put off his clothes and entered. Then Abusir came in to him and rubbed his body with the back gloves, peeling from his skin dirt rolls like lamp wicks, and showing them to the king, who rejoiced therein. And clapping his hands upon his lamp, heard them ring again for very smoothness and cleanness. After which the washing Abusir mingled rose water with the water of the tank, and the king went down therein. When he came forth, his body was refreshed, and he felt a lightness and liveliness such as he had never known in his life. Then the barber made him sit on the dials, and the boys proceeded to shampoo him, while the censers fumed with the finest light aloes. Then said the king, "O master, is this the hammam?" And Abusir said, "Yes." Quoth the king, "As my head lives, my city is not become a city indeed, but by this bath." Presently adding, "But why pay takes due for each person?" But what pay takes due for each person? Quoth Abusir, "That which thou biddest will I take." Whereupon king cried, "Take 1,000 gold pieces for every one who washes in thy hammam." Abusir, however, said, "Pardon, O king of the age. All men are not alike, but there are amongst them rich and poor, and if I take of each 1,000 dinars, the hammam will stay empty, for the poor man cannot pay this price." Asked the king, "How then will they do for this price?" And the barber answered, "I will leave it to their generosity. Each who can afford aught shall pay that which his soul grudges not to give, and he will take from every man after a measure of his means. On this wise will the folk come to us, and he who is wealthy shall give according to his station, and he who is wealthless shall give him what he can afford. Under such conditions, the hammam will still be at work, and prosper exceedingly. But 1,000 dinars is a monarch gift, and not every man can avail to this." The lords of the realm confirmed Abusir's words, saying, "This is the truth, the king of the age. Thinkst thou that all our folks are like unto thee, O glorious king?" The king replied, "Ye say thus, But this man is a stranger and poor, and 'tis incumbent on us to deal generously with him, for that he has made in our city this Hammam, whose like we have never seen in our lives, and without which our city were not adorned, nor has gotten importance. Wherefore, and we favor him with increase of fee. 'Tis it will not be much. But the grantee said, and thou will guardon him, be generous with thine own monies, and let the king's bounty be extended to the poor, means by means of the low price of the Hammam, so the lieges may bless thee. But as for 1,000 dinars, we are the lords of thy land, yet do our souls grudge to pay it. And how then should the poor be pleased to afford it? Quoth the king, O my grandees, for this time let each of you give him 100 dinars, and a Mameluke, a slave girl, and a blackamoor. Quoth they, 'Tis well, we will give it, but after today, whosoever shall give him only what he can afford, without grudging. No harm in that, said the king, and they gave him the 1,000 gold pieces and 3 chattels. Now the number of the nobles who were washed with the king that day was 400 souls. And Shahrazad perceived this dawn of the day, and ceased saying her permitted say.